What's up, everybody? Welcome back. Hope everybody's having a great day or night whenever you're watching this. I want to talk about the New Orleans Pelicans and their upcoming season because I think they can be one of the more serious teams in the league. They have a lot of talent up and down that roster, and I want to break down the roster a little bit and where I think they could finish next season. Okay. So before I get into it, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. I really, really appreciate it. Thank you very much. But let's talk about the New Orleans Pelicans because I have been so excited for this team. I loved how they finished last season. They're one of my favorite teams to watch. So right here, I've got their entire roster, and I'm going to break down why I like each player or what I like about the roster, certain flaws or just benefits of having these players, and where I think they could mix in. So Jose Alvarado was a Cinderella story last year. Awesome defender, can hit threes, perfect backup guard to come off the bench, especially when you have guys like CJ McCollum and Herb Jones who do different things than he does. And I really like his fit on the team. Dyson Daniels was one of the best defenders in college. I think he's going to have I don't think he's going to have a huge role, but I think he'll have a role on the team. I think he'd definitely be given opportunities because I think that's the kind of coach Willie Green is. Devontae Graham, I'm not a big fan of Devontae Graham. He's kind of a chucker. I think they should be trying to trade him. I don't see a lot of value for him on the roster. Jackson Hayes, Willie Green kind of figured out a role for him last season. That was like this, he played the four a lot, and he was like this, rim running four that was blocking shots and being versatile on defense. And it kind of worked out for him. He wasn't being asked to do a ton on offense, just kind of set the picks and, get yourself open, fight on the offensive glass. And I think he did a very good job at it. Willie Hernangomez is a solid bench big. I think he'll fit in pretty nicely. Not going to have to play a ton of minutes. 12 to 16 minutes, whatever it might be. Think he can provide pretty good value. Brandon Ingram is one of my favorite players in the league. I'm a Laker fan, so I've been supporting that guy ever since he got drafted by us. He is one of the best creators in the league now, and I don't think people quite understand that. He's one of the best passers at his position and in general. And he's a great scorer, 3-level scorer, gets to the line, has it all. I hope this season to see him get back to his defensive skills because he's a pretty good defender when he's actually focused on it. But when he had so much of the offensive duties, that he didn't have the energy probably to focus on the defensive end that much. And with Zion coming back, we're presuming he's going to be healthy. And CJ McCollum, Ingram doesn't have to do all the offensive load anymore. So once again, I am praying on health. I don't want to see any of these guys go down because I think this team is just loaded. So Ingram being a 25, I could really see him being like a 25, 7 and 5 kind of player next season with better defense. Because when he wants to play defense, it's good. Herb Jones, speaking of defense, one of the best young defenders in the entire league. Love how he plays. I think if his three-point shot improves, he's going to be just the perfect 3-and-D mold. I'm not going to put a cap on him. We don't know what he can possibly turn into, but I love his game. The defense is one thing that is for sure. He's going to be a guy you can go out there and put on the 1 through 3 positions, maybe some 4s if they're smaller, and he's going to be able to put up a damn good fight against them. So I think he's awesome. Kyra Lewis, we haven't really seen a lot of him yet, so I'm not going to make a judgment on him. I don't think he has a huge role, but I think he should be getting more burn than Devontae Graham. I think you draft him that high to do something like that. Najee Marshall is an excellent forward off the bench, can shoot, can defend, rebound, does a little bit of everything. Really like his game, fits on the roster perfectly because he is that guy behind Zion, behind Ingram that can come in and space the floor for you and play off of them, which is really good. CJ McCollum, loved that trade last year. He's awesome. He can give you a solid 20 points, 5 or 6 assists and a few rebounds. I think the thing with him is he's got to stay healthy. I don't remember how many games he's missed in the past, but let me check. So for CJ, 2 years ago, he played 47 games. I think he had that foot sprain that year in 2021. And then last year he played 62 games, which is pretty solid. What is that, missing 20 games? I hope he can get back to what he was in his, first 6 or 7 years where he was a 70 games or plus kind of guy. So I hope that he stays healthy because I think for this team to reach where it wants to go, he needs to be healthy for the entirety of the season, along with a specific other guy we're going to talk about later on. But CJ, excellent third option, I think. You can decide who you want to be the first option on the team, but perfect third option. I love the fit. It's perfect. Trey Murphy, the third, was a baller in Summer League. He was great last year in the playoffs too, had some really great moments with some threes and stuff like that. He was the best shooter in his draft from last season's draft. So him being able to show that he had that talent, I think he went down to the G League last year for a little bit, which is usually pretty good for some of these guys because lets them build their confidence before they get thrown into the NBA fire, especially if they're coming off injuries and stuff like that. It really does help. So Trey Murphy, his summer league was crazy. Let me see if I can find his summer league. So if this is correct, this is on basketballrealgm.com, I believe that is. Trey Murphy was averaging 16.3 points, 7 rebounds, 3 assists, 1.3 blocks, 1.8 steals in 28 minutes. So, I mean, what is his per 48? It's got to be crazy. Let me see. Yeah, per 48 minutes, he was averaging 28 points, 12 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 blocks, 3 steals, in the 4 games that he played. He was awesome in summer league is what I'm trying to say. And yes, that is only summer league, but you want to see those second year guys come out and dominate that because they do have NBA experience. So, I think that really helped him. And I think it was a good learning for him, to go out there and prove that he's got a lot of game. And I think he's going to be awesome this year. I'm expecting a big jump from him. I don't remember what his averages were last season, but he in the playoffs from when I was watching him, especially, he was really good. So I'm excited to see his growth as the season goes along. Larry Nance Jr., Laker fan, I already said it. Love Larry. He's a great rebounder, high fly act, can switch, can pass, can shoot a little bit now, which is nice to see that he's developed that 3-ball a little bit. And he's like the perfect 5 next to Zion, other than maybe Jonas Valančiūnas, who they already have. So or a 4, wherever you want to put Larry. He's a great fit on the roster, and it gives them depth up at the bigs where they really needed it, just in case somebody does go down. So I love having him on that. When they got him with CJ McCollum, I was like, they got him basically for free, which was like, wow, that was a fleece, right? So I love Larry Nance Jr.'s fit on this team. He's awesome. Garrett Temple, I don't know how much he'll actually play. I do know that from what people have said about him around the league, he's an excellent locker room guy, and teams that want to go far in the playoffs and do make some noise need somebody like that on the roster that maybe doesn't play a ton, but is a vet that knows how to prepare every single day and teach the young guys and stuff like that. So I think that's awesome to have him for that kind of role. I don't know how much he'll be playing, but if he does, he can shoot, he can defend a little bit. I don't think he's going to get big minutes or anything like that, though. And then you get to Jonas Valančiūnas, who I don't know, what was his contract? I couldn't remember if he even got a big contract or re-signed. Jonas signed a 2-year, $30 million contract, which I think that's an awesome value for the Pelicans. That's about $15 million a year. This year he's doing $14.7 million. Next year he's doing $15.4. Then he'll enter unrestricted free agency in 2024. But getting him back for a contract that's not over $20 million, I thought that's a steal. I don't even know it was that low. He was awesome last season. One of the best offensive rebounders in the entire league. Has a good fit on this team. Is getting better at shooting as he's gotten older, which you love to see that for a center. So I think he's got a pretty damn good fit, and he's locked into probably 25 to 30 minutes a night, and he's going to be excellent in those. You could probably expect him to do 14 points, 15 points, and 12 rebounds, somewhere in that range. That's what I would expect out of him. And then we get to the most important player on this team, because it's contingent on him staying healthy, in Zion Williamson. Obviously, we know the health issues. We've heard all that. I'm not going to ramble into that too much, but people are forgetting how freaking good that guy is on offense, especially. He was averaging 27, not last season because he didn't play, but the year before that. The dude can play. And I think it's, as long as he's, at a good weight and is able to play at his pace and, of course, stay healthy. I guess I have to reiterate that because that is the only real concern with him. And look, he got his max contract. So, hopefully he takes that as now I got to prove why I earned that max contract. And there was a little bit of backlash on the Pelicans for giving it to him. Let's be honest, they had to give him the money. You're not he'll go somewhere else. Somebody else will pay him. And a lot of people are like, well, he didn't deserve that. And it's yeah, well, it's not up to us to decide who deserves it. If one team says he deserves it, then he's going to get it. So somebody other than the Pelicans would have given it to him, guaranteed. And people are quick to forget the guy was putting up 27, 28 points on monster efficiency. And as long as he can stay healthy, and I want to see him take a step on defense. If he's able to get better on defense, because like I said, with Brandon Ingram, he's going to have CJ McCollum. He'll have an Ingram, guys that will be able to take the load off of him. He won't have to exert himself only on the offensive end. The team is way better now than it was 2 years ago when he was playing and they were trying to claw their way into the play-in. This season, honestly, they should not be a play-in team. This team should probably be top 5 in the conference. Let's go through the conference, and I'm going to say which teams I really like more than others and which teams I expect them to be better than. So we're going to start from the bottom up because I think it's a little bit easier to do that way. They'll be better than the Rockets. They'll be better than the Thunder. Pelicans will be better than the Blazers. Although I do think the Blazers did get a lot better this year in the offseason. I think they'll be better than the Kings. I would bet pretty much the house that they're going to be better than my Lakers. I don't like what my Lakers have done. The Spurs are going to be tanking. They already traded DeJounte Murray. They've got no real reason to win. The Clippers, I don't know if they'll be better than the Clippers because this is Kawhi Leonard coming back, and we know Kawhi is a top 5 to 10 player in the league. Paul George is awesome. They got John Wall. Like, the Clippers are going to be a really good team. They did lose Isaiah Hartenstein, which I think will be a big loss that people aren't really mentioning. So I would expect the Clippers to be somewhere in the top 4. So for now, I'm not going to have the Pelicans ahead of the Clippers just yet. Here they are as, I think they're going to be better than they were last year. The Timberwolves, I think the Pelicans will be better than the Timberwolves. Timberwolves lost a lot in that Gobert trade. A lot of their depth kind of got sent out. So I think the Pelicans will be better. The Nuggets, I don't know what to expect from the Nuggets because this is Jamal Murray coming off of an ACL injury, Michael Porter coming back from his back or whatever it was. I would bet on the Pelicans to be better than the Nuggets, but I think the Nuggets will be pretty good too, so long as they're healthy and everybody's back to what we expect them to be. They'll be better than the Jazz, I would expect. I think they're going to be better than the Mavericks. Mavericks lost Jalen Brunson. Yes, they got Christian Wood, but I still like the addition the Pelicans are getting back of getting Zion, getting guys with, continuity because they didn't have a lot of that last year in terms of CJ McCollum. Brandon Ingram missed a lot of games. So I would expect them, if, we're saying these teams are going to be healthy here, I expect them to be better than the Mavs, even though Luka's a god. The Warriors are the defending champs, so I'm not going to put them over them. That's not fair to the Warriors. The Grizzlies lost Kyle Anderson, and they lost Anthony Melton too. So I expect the Grizzlies to take a small step back. I don't think they're going to step back into 45 wins. I think they might be more in the 52 range. So, the Grizzlies are a tough one. Because it's like John Morant's been taking superstar leaps year after year. Zion Williams will probably take a jump. Jaren Jackson, as long as he can stay out of foul trouble and learns how to do that, that's a jump. So right now, I don't know about the Grizzlies. I don't know about the Grizzlies yet because that team is pretty damn awesome. They did keep Tyus Jones, which was big. So right now, the only teams that I've got ahead of them are the Warriors and possibly the Clippers. And then, you could maybe shout in the Nuggets, but I don't know what to expect from them. And then here's the Suns. The Suns got worse this offseason. They lost JaVale McGee. Oh, yeah, Mavs got him too. Forgot about that. Don't want to underrate that. I would still take the Pelicans over the Mavs. But the Suns lost JaVale McGee, who was a big part of what they were doing last year. You're banking really on Mikal Bridges taking another step, Ayton taking another step, and hoping Chris Paul doesn't fall off anymore. The Suns, I think they'll be better than the Suns. That might be a hot take. And you can say it's a hot take, and I won't even call you out on that. But they took the Suns to 6 without Zion Williamson. And, they're getting another lottery pick in Dyson Daniels. Don't know what his value is ultimately going to be, but it is a lottery pick. Trey Murphy's going to be getting better. And the Suns, I don't know. I take the Pelicans over the Suns. And I did not know that going into this video. But after thinking about it, they did take him to 6 without their probably best offensive player in Zion. So the only teams that I have ahead of the Pelicans next year are the Warriors, the Clippers, and maybe the Grizzlies. The Grizzlies is a tough one. So, I think that the Pelicans could be fighting for a 3 or a 4 seed next year. And that could be hot take-ish, but Pelicans fans, let me know what your expectations are for the team. If you're not a Pelicans fan and you're a fan of all these other teams or one of them, or if you're a fan of an Eastern Conference team, let me know how good you think the Pelicans will be. If you think they might be back in the play-in again, which I would say that should not happen. This is all, we're banking on paper. We're writing this on paper right now. We're looking at these teams on paper. A lot of people last year didn't expect the Timberwolves to jump into the 7 seed. And a lot of people didn't think that the Mavs would get to the Western Conference Finals, or that the Lakers would be. A good amount of people probably thought the Lakers were not going to fit too well with Russ. There's just anything can happen. So I'm excited for this Pelicans team, though. I think they're going to be so much fun to watch. And you're going to have alley-oops to Zion. Ingram's going to be scoring the ball from everywhere, setting up people. CJ is going to be that perfect third option. It looks like they have a perfect blend here, and I don't think people are giving them enough respect because they're writing off Zion, and they're not really, they don't know quite how good Brandon Ingram is, even though he was putting up 30 in playoff games last year against the 1 seed Suns. And he was torching Mikal Bridges. Mikal Bridges is an awesome defender. He was getting torched. Simple as that. Cam Johnson was getting torched. That was food for Ingram. What do you think that's going to be for Zion? So, and I think that makes CJ's life a little bit easier too, knowing that he doesn't have to be that 25 plus a night guy anymore. And I think that's going to fit his role really, really well. Yeah. So I've got the Pelicans at like a 3 or 4 seed, and probably it's tough for the Grizzlies. So I can't even give a take on that. And it would be ill-informed if I did. So anyway, if you're new to the channel, please subscribe. And if you enjoy this kind of content, please like the video. I really, really appreciate it. But Pelicans fans, I cannot wait for your guys' season. I think it's going to be very, very similar to the Atlanta Hawks, who I did a previous video on. I think that you can make some noise that this is a title contender. I'm not going to go stamp that yet because, there are on paper, they're a title contender. I'll say that. But on paper is different than on the court. So we need to see people stay healthy and this team mesh for a full 82 game season. And I think that there's a damn good chance if that happens that they are one of the top 3 teams in the West. So anywho, I am done here. Peace. Thank you for watching.